Now, football excitement in Africa continues with the women's AFCON tournament underway in Morocco. This follows the continent's impressive showing at the FIFA Men's World Cup. But in Nigeria, the country who are defending WAFCON champions and 10-time winners, young girls are dreaming big, hoping to follow in the footsteps of the nation's women's team. DW's Olisa Chukwumar explains more from Lagos.
Honing their skills in the beautiful game and trying out new tricks on this pitch in Lagos, these young girls are hoping to become professional players in the future. Football is Nigeria's most popular sport, and girls are determined not to be left out of the action.
For many of these girls, this is exactly where big dreams begin, on the football field. Some of Nigeria's top women's players have come through the ranks, playing right here on this very pitch, and still visit often. And so for the players here, they don't have to look too far off.
My dream is to play football, that they'll know me in Africa, in America, in every world. I'll play it, that I'll become a star. That's my dream.
I feel so excited whenever I'm watching Super Falcons football. And most of their players, I really love them. I really love the way they play. Like Monday Gift, Rashida Tajibade, I really love them, the way they play. They have confidence for football.
When I watch Oladipo Shukurat, she makes me feel happy as the way she usually plays. I really love it. She makes me feel inspired that I need to work hard, more harder. Because they say the key to success is to work hard and put more effort. No pain, no gain.
It is that dream that keeps them going here at the Robo Queens Academy. But there are many challenges, like the lack of financial support and very basic training facilities.
You can imagine where we train. A team that has produced a lot of stars. Look at where we train. So there are so many things to talk about. But the dream is actualizing. At least we have produced a lot of players. But you know, in female football, it's a developmental thing. The money does not come the way people expect the money to come. It's just the glory that is going here and there. But we thank God. It's not easy.
The academy has produced several players who have gone on to play for the country. They include 5 stars currently competing in the Women's African Cup of Nations in Morocco. One of them is Asisat Oshola, who has been Africa's best women's player 6 times. She says young girls who want to play football need female role models.
I'm really happy that I get to have young kids across Africa looking up to me, especially where I grew up from, which is like Lagos State. You know, I train in Mushi. That's my grassroots team, FC Robo. So each time I'm home, I take my time to go there to train with the girls, to be around them. You know, just to just to be around them. You know, I enjoy being there basically because that's where I started from, and I enjoy seeing these kids as well. You know, growing. And also, it's also good to be around these girls as well sometimes, so they know that there's really nothing out there if they really put their mind into it. There's nothing out there to stop them.
Back at the academy, that connection makes them proud to be associated with the Super Falcons' dominance of women's football on the continent.
It's a joyful thing that you train players, she succeeds in her engagement and she come back home. It's a joyful thing, and it's an inspirational thing to motivate these upcoming ones.
I like to play in Super Falcons, and I will train more harder so that I can get to that Super Falcons stage and play.
Nigeria is aiming to win more trophies in the women's game, and that journey begins on pitches like this. Underlining the aim of these young girls in love with the beautiful game.
And we have invited Biola Solis Chukwu back onto the program. She is a sportscaster and content creator in Lagos. It's good to have you back on the show, Biola. So the Super Falcons are Africa's most successful international women's football team. So it's no surprise to see young girls in Nigeria aspiring to be soccer players. But why is it still a struggle to secure funding to develop women's football, even when the women's football national team has been so successful? There's a real tangible example in Nigeria.
To be honest, I think there is a big funding problem in Nigerian football as a whole, and not just the women's game. And sadly, with the little funding that does come, most of it is channeled into the men's football because, like it is almost everywhere in the world, men's football gets more eyes, more attention, maybe because it's been here longer than women's football. So, yeah, that has been a major issue here in Nigeria. I think another major problem really is that the federations rely heavily on government funding. And to be honest, that is not enough. And the women's game obviously suffers for it. So that is one of the major issues we have here in Nigeria.
Yeah, and as you point out, it's not just unique to Nigeria, the priority of men's football versus women's football. I know I just said that the Super Falcons are Africa's most successful international women's football team, but can you just tell us why that is? Because I read a little bit into this and it is impressive.
Well, I think there is, to an extent, an early mover issue, an early mover advantage that Nigeria has. I think Nigeria started playing women's football earlier than many other African teams, and that played, a major part as well. I think participating internationally has also helped the growth of Nigerians women's football, playing at the World Cups. And by that reason, many players moving to play in Europe, the NWSL, some of the biggest leagues in the world. So they get better training there, they get better exposure there. And of course, they bring that into the national team and translate that to the general growth of the Super Falcons, the women's national teams as a whole. So that has been major, really, when it comes to the growth of women's football here. And that is why the Super Falcons are as successful as they are here in Nigeria. That hasn't quite translated to the world stage yet, but one step at a time, right?
Yeah, absolutely. But we have to point out that WAFCON has started with a bit of an upset for the Super Falcons, losing to Malawi 3-2. I know you have a lot to say about that. Anybody following you on social media heard your take, but just give me your sense of what you think about that game and what the result was.
Amazing. Of course, it's been shocking to Nigerians, to everyone in Africa, everyone in the world, considering Nigeria 10-time champions, defending champions, and Malawi playing in this competition for the first time. So as Nigerian, I will say, yes, it has been painful and Nigerians are grieving, but also as a women's football enthusiast, I'll say it shows the growth that women's football has been experiencing in Africa in the last few years. Malawi, I think many of us knew that they deserved to be playing in the Women's Africa Cup of Nations, considering the names that they had, the Chawinga sisters that were very instrumental to that win against Nigeria last night. So yes, I think it shows the growth women's football is experiencing in Africa, and it shows there are really no minnows anymore. You really cannot underestimate any team anymore, whether they have played in the WAFCON or not, whether they are facing some of the biggest teams or not. We also saw South Africa, one of the biggest teams in Africa, lose to Tanzania. That shows growth in women's football in Africa.
And I guess one final one for you, Biola. I might be putting you in a tight spot, but I want to get your predictions. Who are the ones to watch this tournament? And I know your heart is probably with the Super Falcons, but if we were taking them off the table, who should we be looking at, and who do you have your money on?
Of course, taking Nigeria off the table, you cannot look past Morocco. They have invested so much in women's football in the last few years, and it is showing. They reached the final in back-to-back WAFCONs in 2022 and in 2024 edition, which was played last year. So they're hosting again, by the way. Playing at home is also a big advantage. Knowing there's World Cup qualification at stake as well is really big on their mind, and knowing that the next step for them really is to win that first continental title. They're really just very close. They beat Nigeria. I mean, Nigeria beat them from 2 goals down last time, so they were really close. So of course, Morocco. I will never look past South Africa as well. The 2022 champions are one of the most experienced sides in African women's football. I will not look past Zambia as well, because they have grown also in the last few years, came 3rd place in 2022. So yeah, I would say Morocco, South Africa, and of course Zambia are those to look out for.
All right. Well, perhaps you can come back and we can discuss how it really went down in the end, at the end of the tournament. But thank you for the moment, Biola Solus Chukwu. We appreciate that.
Thank you for having me.